Hello Wildcats, I'm Sailor,
And I'm Lily.
and these are your daily announcements. Today we'll hear from Mr. Verberg about the Code of Conduct, and we'll hear from the new teams of Student Services.
Hello Lexington High School students. My name is Mr. Verberg, and I'm going to be reviewing the Student Code of Conduct with you today. Students' behavior. The LHS administrative staff and teaching faculty, in accordance with Lexington's County School District 1 board policy, expects the conduct of students at Lexington High School to reflect the educational goals of the school. So no student has the right to interfere with the education of fellow students. Okay, the Code of Conduct you can find at the LHS website, which is lhs.lexington1.net, and under the Parents and Students tab. Under this tab, you can find all the different prohibited behaviors and attendance policies and different things like that. You are responsible for knowing and following the contents of the LHS Student Code of Conduct. So it's real responsibility to make sure you review that so you're familiar with it. But for now, we're just going to look over it really fast, just skim over it. And this is what it looks like when you go in the Student and Parent tab. And it talks about different things of like where the Code of Conduct's in effect, consequences, which we'll kind of talk about all these things. And then it has like 30 prohibited conducts. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's a little brief description under each one of these things that are expected that you would not do at school. Then it goes into attendance policy as well, but that's a little bit different right now just because of COVID, so that's not completely accurate. If you have any attendance issues, just reach out to Mr. Verberg. In the future, they'll probably fall under these guidelines. So now, let's look at some key points of the Student Code of Conduct. When and where is the Code of Conduct in effect? On school property anytime, at any school-sponsored event, so football games, choir concerts, dance performances, anything where there's a school-sponsored event. On the school bus, and that means before school, even when you're at the bus stop, and after school when you get off the bus stop, it carries over to there where school conduct is expected, appropriate conduct is expected. And at all times and in all places where the student's conduct has a direct and immediate effect on maintaining order and discipline in its schools. What are the consequences of violating the LHS Student Code of Conduct? First of all, is a verbal warning. I don't even like to call it a warning. I like to call it restorative conversation, where we just kind of talk and figure out, okay, what's the problem and how are we going to fix it? So an administrator will talk with you about that, or teacher, or somebody will have a discussion about it, and hopefully we expect that you'd be mature enough to be able to handle that and just be able to correct your behavior. But if that doesn't, the next step is a conference with your student, the student, parent, and teacher. The next step after that is in-school suspension. The next step after that is an out-of-school suspension. And then there's obviously the recommendation for expulsion, which we really don't want. And in all reality, we want you here. We don't want you out of school. We don't want you in school suspension, out of school suspension, or recommended for expulsion. We want you in class. We want you having a good experience at school. We want our teachers to have a good experience with you at school. So we're hoping that you will, behave appropriately. But if there's an issue, that you'll handle it like an adult, and we can just discuss it and work it out through a conversation. But if you're having these issues and it's just not, for whatever reason, you're not able to follow the rules, we have our character coach, Mr. Williams, and he is an A211, and he is a great guy, and he's here to help our students. He's here to work with our students and have those conversations with our students to correct behavior. And he is kind of the guy before it gets to administrative levels where discipline could be involved. He is not a disciplinarian. He is someone who's going to help work with you and help hopefully correct the behaviors before it becomes an administrative issue. Conduct violations that are zero tolerance and results in a recommendation for expulsion. These are all through board policy. Alcohol possession, drug possession or distribution, weapons, and gang signs affiliation. So, with the weapons thing, if you have, I know some of you guys like to hunt and stuff like that, and if you have a pocket knife on you, or you have a hunt knife, in your truck or whatever it may be, if you come and tell administration or teacher, somebody, that you have this on you and that you want to turn it in, then you're not gonna have any real problems. We're gonna take it from you for the day, talk to your parents about the policy, and we'll probably end up just letting you go home and your parents come and grab it or whatever, but you won't get in trouble. You won't be recommended for expulsion. But if you have a pocket knife in your pocket and you don't realize it and it falls out of your pocket, or someone tells us you have it, that changes the complexion of things completely. That could be a recommendation for expulsion. So if you have something on you forgot, you're like, oh my gosh, my pocket knife's in my car, or it's in my pocket and I didn't even think about it, please bring it to the front office and tell somebody so we can just deal with it, and we don't have to deal with the recommendation for expulsion, because we don't want to do that to you. We want you here. But if we find it on you, then that's a problem, and that's where it's going to be a recommendation for expulsion. If you're having any issues with these things, or you know of somebody who has drugs at school, or alcohol, whatever, or violating any of those major policies, you can reach out to our resource officers. We have 2 school resource officers, Officer Apgar, who's in the Commons area, and Officer Booth, whose office is actually in C Hall. So these are the 2 guys who are here to help protect us and make sure we're safe from school, in school, and that that people are able to learn effectively and be safe at school. What are some possible outcomes of bullying or cyberbullying? Because that's another issue, and I thought it was important to touch on. Is that's a problem, because we want everybody to be safe at school. It can damage the victim's self-esteem. It can make the victim feel unsafe at school. It may result in suspension from school for the perpetrator, and it may result in criminal charges for the perpetrator. So, again, it goes back to just being kind. We want this Lexington High School to be a place where people come and they're happy and they're enjoying themselves, and everybody's respecting each other's differences and just embracing each other and not trying to tear each other down. So whether that's through social media, cyberbullying, or face to face, it won't be tolerated at Lexington High School. So we really want to make sure that that people feel safe here and they want to be here, and that they're not distracted from their learning. Now, so what do you do if you're experiencing or witness any kind of bullying or cyberbullying? Come see your student services team, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this in the video that's coming up after my presentation, but we're breaking things up into teams. 9th and 10th grade team for A through F is going to be Miss Anderson as administrator and Miss Urquhart as a counselor. G through M is Mr. Martinez and Mrs. Robinson. And N through Z is Mr. Verberg and Miss Lindsay. For 11th and 12th grade, the 11th grade admin is going to be Dr. Burgess. The 12th grade admin is going to be Mrs. Goodson. And the counselors will be Russell, will be A through GL. And Miss Beckett will be GO through N. And Miss Hull will be O through Z. And reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns, or you need to report something, you just need any help with anything about academics or social. All right, suspensions and expulsions. Students who accumulate suspensions of 10 days or more in any one school year will be recommended for expulsion. That's an automatic board policy, so that's something we can't do anything about that. So don't get suspended. Suspended or expelled students shall be denied the privilege of participating in all extracurricular and co-curricular activities during the period of suspension or expulsion. It includes athletics, practice, club meetings, whatever. A student's disciplinary record is accumulative and does not reset at any time during the school year. What if a specific behavior here is not listed? Well, any behavior considered to be inappropriate and disruptive to the learning environment that may not be specifically mentioned in this code will be handled in a manner the administration believes is most appropriate for all concerned. So we'll use our judgment on some of these things. Not everything's going to be listed, it's just not possible. So we'll use our judgment. So just again, make good decisions, and don't put us in a position where we have to make a decision on you as what kind of consequences we should give you. So, because again, we want this to be a positive experience here at Lexington High. And lastly, let's treat each other with respect so everyone can have a great experience at Lexington High School. Again, happy place. We want you to be here. We want you to enjoy your experience here. We don't want you to look at administration as the people who are punitive and always just deal with discipline. We want to be looked at as a mentor, a team of people who are trying to help you be successful. And we want you to leave Lexington High School just feeling like, man, that was a good experience. That was really positive, and they were very fair with me. So again, try to make sure you're following the code of conduct and doing the things you need to do. And let's have a great second half of the school year. Thank you.
To guarantee you have a Cat's Paw 2021 yearbook, you need to order your book by Friday, January 29th. Books may only be purchased online. Please visit www.jostens.com to order. Books are currently $90.
It's time for senior superlatives. Seniors, you will vote on what categories make it to the yearbook on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. The nominations and final vote for senior superlatives will take place in the following weeks.
Boys golf tryouts will begin February 1st. Please make sure you have contacted Coach Smith.
I wonder what would happen if we assign counselors by grade level instead of alphabet.
Hey, I'm Dr. Burgess, and we're changing things up this year. We're restructuring to have student services that includes both counselors and administrators to work for you. I'm going to be over the 11th grade, but I also help with the 12th grade with graduation. Hey, Miss Hull, what do you think about that?
Wait, what? We're changing caseloads? Cool. I'm Ms. Hall, and I will now be working with last names A through GL for the 11th and 12th graders. What do you think about this, Miss Beckett?
Hey, I'm Sarah Beckett, counselor for 11th and 12th grade students with last names G-O through N. Hey, Mr. Russell, have you heard about the new student services?
Well, I know it's going to be a great adventure as I'll be in the land of Oz. I'm Mr. Russell, and I'll have the students with the last names O through Z. Miss Goodson, what are you going to do?
Well, this year certainly has been an adventure, so this will be no different. I am Tiffany Goodson, and I will be working with 12th grade students in Student Services.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Come on, press play.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
It's gonna be awesome.
What are you watching?
A new show starting second semester.
What is it about?
All the cool new changes they're making at Lexington High School to help serve students better.
What? How?
Well, dude, they're gonna start off with 3 things. They're gonna help build stronger connections with students.
They're gonna build a stronger school community.
And they're gonna increase collaboration to help serve all students.
It's a 9th and 10th grade team of administrators and counselors that are here to help us.
It's almost like they're our friends.
Friends!
So no one told you school was gonna be this way. Things keep changing in the middle of the day. But now you have a team that's always here. Now you have a guidance counselor, so never fear, 'cause we'll be there for you. If the grades start to fall, we'll be there for you. When trouble starts to call, we'll be there for you. 'Cause we're for crew and blue.
Have a great day, Wildcats.